The richest man in the world currently has a net worth of about $244 billion and counting. To put that into perspective, the average household income in the US is only about 0.00044% of that. But the real question is, where do you fall? We've collected tons of data from the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances, the most reliable source for tracking American wealth. Using that data, we will help you learn how to calculate your net worth, break down the current net worth by age, and then finish by explaining a proven way to grow your net worth. Trust me, you don't want to miss the end. Net worth sounds complicated, but it's one of the most simple yet powerful numbers in personal finance. Here's the formula to calculate it. Net worth equals assets minus liabilities. Assets are the things you own that have value. This includes your cash, savings, investments, real estate, vehicles, and even collectibles or jewelry. Liabilities are what you owe. This includes credit card debt, student loans, car loans, mortgages, and more. Let's look at an example. If you have $60,000 in savings, a car worth $40,000, and a house worth $300,000. And then you owe $90,000 in student loans and $10,000 in credit card debt. Then your net worth would be $300,000. This number is significant because it shows your true financial position. Not what you earn, but what you own. A high income doesn't guarantee wealth if debt is dragging you down. Now, let's look at the average American net worth by age using the latest survey of consumer finances from the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances surveys tens of thousands of households every 3 years to give us an accurate picture of how wealth is distributed in the United States. Also, keep in mind, due to the wealth disparity, we will be using not only the mean, but also the median net worth for more of an accurate representation. That being said, here are the results. For Americans under the age of 35, the median net worth is about $39,040, while the mean net worth is significantly higher at $183,380. This wide gap is because most people in this age group are just starting their financial journey. They're early in their careers, which means they have limited time to save or invest. Many are also burdened by student loans, credit card debt, or car payments, which drag down their net worth. On top of that, major life expenses like weddings, moving, or buying a first car often happen in this stage, usually financed with debt. However, the mean is inflated by a small number of young people who've launched successful startups, received inheritance, or struck early success in high-paying industries like tech or finance. For those aged 35 to 44, the median net worth jumps to $135,300, and the average rises to $548,070. At this point, most individuals are in their prime working years, with more stability and higher salaries. People typically begin building serious assets in this decade. They tend to buy homes, contribute to a 401k, and pay down old debts. Many households also have dual income, which accelerates savings and investment growth. Still, this one interesting trend continues. The gap between the median and mean continues to widen here, because wealth inequity starts to show. This is because a few individuals with rapidly appreciating assets or high incomes pull the average way up. Between the ages of 45 and 54, the median net worth climbs to $246,700, and the average soars to $971,270. These are often the peak earning years in one's life. Individuals in this bracket have typically been investing for 20 to 30 years, so compound interest is working hard in their favor. Retirement accounts are more robust, and many have built substantial home equity. Expenses might begin to decrease slightly as kids grow up, allowing even more to be saved and invested. The high average reflects a concentration of wealth among a subset of individuals with rare extreme financial wins, or even just long-term asset accumulation. For people aged 55 to 64, the median net worth reaches $364,270, and the average jumps up to a $1.5 million. This group is approaching retirement, so many have maximized contributions to retirement accounts and paid off major debts, like mortgages. Their investment portfolios have grown significantly. Once again, the average continues to rise more sharply than the median. Those with successful careers, businesses, or investments are now pulling far ahead of the typical household. Among those aged 65 to 74, the median net worth is $410,000, while the average increases slightly to $1.7 million. Even though many are retired, net worth continues to rise slightly. That's because this group often owns their homes outright and continue to benefit from asset appreciation. Many also reduce expenses in retirement, which preserves their wealth longer. Social Security or pensions may cover day-to-day costs, allowing their portfolios to continue growing. Finally, for Americans aged 75 and older, the median net worth slightly decreases to $334,700, and the average dips to a $1.6 million. At this point, many retirees begin to withdraw from their retirement accounts, which naturally lowers their net worth. Healthcare costs can increase significantly, and long-term care becomes a major expense for some. Others begin transferring wealth to their children or charitable causes. Still, many in this group remain financially solid, especially those who planned well. The small dip is expected, but both the median and mean remain high relative to the earlier decades. So the biggest takeaway here are as follows. First, you may have noticed how the mean net worth is always greater than the median net worth. This is due to the wealth being concentrated more among the ultra rich. It always skews the average upwards. Second, net worth generally rises with age due to saving, investing, and building equity. The only exception is after retirement, because people begin to spend more of their savings. Third, many younger people may start with a negative or low net worth, especially due to student loans. Remember, it's not how you start that matters, it's how you finish. Fourth, it's important to focus more on the median net worth rather than just the mean average. That is because it is the number where half of people are above and half are below. It gives a much more accurate picture than the average, which can sometimes be misleading. And last, you need to get a good understanding for your financial position. Understanding it gives you context. It also shows you how much room you have to grow. So, how do you increase your net worth? There are 5 main investments you need to focus on. Each of these investments builds either income, equity, or assets, and they're all guaranteed to raise your net worth. Even if you focus on just a few, your net worth will start to grow steadily over time. If you want to dive deeper into those 5 investments, check out our video above on the best investments ever. We can't wait to see you in the next one. Until next time, remember to always save smart and invest smarter.